Welcome back to Yahoo Finance Live, everyone. Now it's time for our triple play, the three stocks that Dave, Brad, and myself have been watching so far today. Now, my pick is Alibaba, which has the ticker symbol BABA. Now, as we saw, Alibaba and several other Chinese stocks, the tech stocks, really soared on Wednesday after we saw the state-run media outlet Xinhua said the Chinese government would make more efforts to stabilize its markets and support economic growth. And as we can see, Alibaba here up more than 37% on the day, continuing its rally. As you can see, the lows that it had been suffering, along with a lot of other Chinese tech stocks, we haven't seen this sort of surge since 2008. Now, we are seeing also these hints of a possible cooperation deal regarding some of these tech companies being delisted from U.S. exchanges. That also added some extra fervor and optimism to BABA today as well.
You know, I think this signals a few things, but most notably, I think from China's side, this also signals that there is still very much reliance on the tech companies, some of the major companies that we've seen get hit the hardest and their shares decline. A reliance on being able to have access to capital that is global, especially in the U.S., which is why many of these companies chose to either have a dual listing or to do their initial public offering in the United States. And so with that in mind, I think this is one of the first major steps that many of these companies were looking for amid the broader tech lash in China, and then even the crackdown that we had seen on data and reporting, even more so here in the U.S. too. And so with all of that in mind, perhaps this is the first point of stabilization, but we're going to need more of the details that come from the study that China has started to put forward to evaluate how they can continue to ensure that these companies have an opportunity to tap into different sources of capital around the world. So we'll see what further details come from that. But most notably, my triple play here today, Starbucks, SBUX is the ticker symbol there. Going to be looking at this one throughout the rest of today's trading activity because there is yet another transition that is taking place in the C-suite, and the shares are up by about 4.7% as of right now. And this is as Kevin Johnson is going to be departing, has announced his resignation from Starbucks, and former CEO Howard Schultz is going to be stepping back in, at least on an interim basis. And this means that in the last 15 months, roughly here, the CEO, the CFO, and the COO have all announced their departures. Roz Brewer went to Walgreens. You also had the departure of their CFO, who was essentially just going to retire. At least that was part of the announcement there. And so we'll see who is tapped as the new replacement for Kevin Johnson. But as of right now, it comes at a time where Starbucks is looking across its globalization strategy, and we'll see what the new CEO brings to the table on that front as well.
I'm always thrilled to have a sports analogy, and we heard one earlier in the Fed press conference when somebody mentioned Tom Brady re-entering the workforce. But Melanie Hobson, the chairman of the board today, talked about, hey, we happen to have an MVP sitting right here on the bench. And largely, I guess that's what you're seeing in the stock. Big question, of course, going forward is how they handle that unionization effort that we're seeing spread up there in upstate New York. That will be the central question in front of Howard Schultz. It'll be fascinating to see if he intervenes, how he plays the unionization effort. My play, blackjack. You guys might play craps, you might play slots, but it's specifically Las Vegas Sands or LVS. Stocks for the casinos really popped on news that China's central bank said it would step in and stabilize the economy after recent market instability and those COVID lockdowns spreading across the country now. LVS closed at a 52-week low yesterday. It popped 8% in pre-market trading and is still up at this point, almost 4% to 36.43. Dramatically down from where it was year to date, 64, almost $65 a share a year ago today. LVS, though, getting some good news, and that is my triple play. So my question to you guys is, I always like to take your pulse here. I give you $1,000 at a casino. I don't know if either you gamble. I don't care. What are you playing? Craps? Are we playing blackjack? Are we playing slots or something else? Brad, you go.
Texas Hold'em. No questions asked.
Ooh, are you good?
I'm taking it home. I'm gambling that. I was like, let me take it home and think about what I want to do depending on what the market's saying.
I love that strategy, Rachelle. Perhaps I should have thought of that one as well. All right.